Hi guys, welcome back and hello if you are new. So what other album starts with the sound of warped geese? You couldn't get more of a British welcome than SLIMELORD's Chytridiomycosis Relinquished. It took me a long time to try and learn how to say that word. Chytridiomycosis Relinquished is the first release from this band, and they are signed to $20 bin, which for me is usually a pretty big tick. It's also formed of 3/4 of Cryptic Shift, so if you're a fan of them, you're more than likely going to be a fan of SLIMELORD. So there's a lot to unpack in this record, but really for me, it kind of brings that spacey, otherworldly, slightly psychedelic, progressive death metal vibe. But I feel like the difference with this band is that they're a bit more, doom laden at times. There's a lot more dissonance, I think, and it can be a lot murkier, if that makes sense. The Beckoning Bell, for example, has this sort of like weird trancey sort of riff. But then you've also got Heroic Demise, which again, kind of bookends the album very nicely. And Gut-Brained Axis, I think, is another one which has that sort of dissonance which sort of comes into play a lot more. But the great thing is that despite all this dissonance, the band are able to create actually quite catchy sort of riffs, which I thought was quite interesting, like Splayed Mudscape, for example. The Hissing Moor is also a great example of some of the effects that SLIMELORD have put together to kind of create that sort of weird environment that, the Brad Moore artwork is kind of showing us. It's this weird sort of fauna and kind of these sort of... And there are times where, there is kind of a straight ahead death metal vibe and it can get a little bit much, but before it gets too unrelenting, the band kind of pull you back out and bring you back into something that's a little bit more comfortable. And there's even a sense of kind of doom, as I mentioned, like this sort of like funeral doom on Batrachomorpha Resurrection's Chamber, which almost has like a funeral doom kind of feel to it. So it can be quite lugubrious and quite slow at times. And it might not be the easiest listen, but it's definitely one that if you're a fan of, this sort of like progressive death metal, and particularly that sort of atonal, augmented, kind of really weird, diminished sounding progressive death metal, then you'll find a hell of a lot to enjoy on this album. So for that reason, I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. Definitely worth your time. So thank you ever so much for watching this album review. Let me know what you think. Now that they're a little bit shorter, I'm always keen to hear what your thoughts are. And please do hit that like and subscribe button. Every like and every subscribe really helps, and I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys very, very soon for another album review.